You have a calling within yourself. Heed that calling. Be truthful about it. When you remind yourself of that every day, the pain of not being truthful to that will be too great. The conditions of your life will conspire so that you will be basically pushed into it. That's the power of it. When you start to actually provide yourself with the seeds for the new story, then the new story starts to form. So then now you're in the thick of it. You find yourself perhaps beyond the point of no return. So you can't, too late to turn back. You've fully bought in. You're doing the things. You've changed something. You've taken steps. Now, as I say, there are going to be challenges. Why? Why are there challenges? So a lot of people say, oh, why are there challenges? It's not fair. Because the nature of this world is that it's all, remember, it's all crafted in the story. But the story has certain, it gets to a point, once the story has been emphasized, repeated enough, it gets to a point where it has a kind of hypnotic effect. And so it has this kind of sense of solidity to it. It resists change. This is why if you're waiting for things out there to change, you'll be waiting for a very, very long time, because the things out there are really just the result of that story that's been repeated over and over and over and over and over, so that it's created this hypnosis. So the likelihood of that changing without you choosing the change is very, very small. So most people are just going to continue to, they're just going to keep doing things in the same way, keep reinforcing the same old narrative. This is how it is. This is who we are. This is how it works. It's not fair. We're all victims. We're just waiting for the savior to come and fix everything. So you can choose differently. And you have to understand that when you do that, there will be resistance. There will be challenges, because you're now going against the status quo. You know, the status quo is the old story. You're wanting to change that. In order to change that, you're going against what's already there. So there's going to be challenge. Now, fundamentally, this is, I think it's only good news, is that all of that is really in you. All of the challenge is experienced in you. Remember that everything that you experience is experienced subjectively. So whatever challenge you experience, it's only an internal challenge. If you think that the challenge is exclusively an external challenge, then you're more often than not, you're going to feel powerless. You'll feel that you don't have what it takes. But when you remember that it's an internal challenge, then you have what it takes. So you can look within yourself and notice what is the actual challenge that you're experiencing. So give you an example. So you want $1 million, okay? And you've gotten clear that having $1 million is actually really, really important to you for whatever reason. And, you know, for somebody out there, having $1 million is really a true desire. It's really important. So if that's your true desire, if that's really, really important, and you've done that work and you've clarified and you say, you know, a lot of these other things I can let go of, but this thing I can't let go of. This thing, if I get to the end of my life and I haven't made the $1 million, I'm going to have regret, because this is important for me. This is why I'm here. So now you set out on this journey to make $1 million. Now along the way, you're going to encounter some challenges. You know, like for example, say, gee, I don't even know where to begin. So that's challenge number one. You don't even know where to begin. So you could say, well, it's not fair that I didn't get the right schooling. I don't have the right, I didn't get born into the right family. I was not born in the right country. I was not born at the right time. Whatever reasons. You can come up with all kinds of reasons externally why. But what are you going to do about that? Instead, though, what you can do is you can notice that the real challenge is happening within you. So you just observe that, find out what are those beliefs that you have that are structuring your experience, that when you encounter them, it stops you. And you could release those. You could notice within yourself how you physically react. You could notice if you withdraw, if you freeze, if you tense up in the face of challenge, and you could choose to change that. You could choose to relax. You could choose to face it. You could choose to slow down your internal process so that you start to discover that you have more options. Because the options are there. The options exist, but we blind ourselves to the options because of our habitual reactions to things. So when we encounter challenges, again, think about if we frame this in terms of a journey. So we're wanting to get from point A to point B. Between point A and point B, you are likely to encounter certain obstacles. You thought that you got an old map that says follow this route from point A to point B, but things have changed. There was like a landslide that happened since that old map was made that blocks the path. So now you're on your journey and like, oh, there's a landslide. The path is blocked. Now, what are you going to do? You have options. You could say, well, all is lost. Let's turn back home. Give up on the whole thing. Just go back home. You could just stay there paralyzed, just stuck. You're like, but I have to go forward and the path is blocked. I have to go forward. The path is blocked. All is lost. I have to go forward. The path is blocked. You could just stay stuck there. Or you could actually relax, slow down, face this thing, and just notice, okay, what options are available to me? I'm going to point B. That's a given. I'm going to do that. What are the options available to me? What could I do here? Can I go over it? Can I go under it? Can I go around it? Was there some alternate path? If I backtrack a mile or so, was there some alternate path that I could take? You just start to realize you have options, but you have to actually know what your goal is, and you have to orient yourself and put yourself in the right state so that you're resourceful enough to be able to access those options. So this is an important part of telling the story, is that when you're wanting to tell a new story in your life, you have to be willing to have that presence and resourcefulness. You have to access your options. If you don't access the options, then you're just going to throw your hands up in the air and say, oh, all is lost. I can't do anything. That's nonsense. If you're committed to what you're wanting, you will find a way.